fascinating topic for all the coin collectors and history buffs out there. We're going to talk about a coin that, in recent years, has been turning heads in the numismatic world. Yes, we're talking about the 2001 Rhode Island quarter with a P mint mark. This unassuming coin has an incredible backstory, and, believe it or not, it's currently fetching a staggering value of $2.4 million. You may be wondering, how can a quarter be worth that much? Well, stick around, because we're going to break down the story behind this quarter and what makes it so special. In 2001, as part of the 50-state quarters program, the U.S. Mint issued a special quarter to represent the state of Rhode Island. Rhode Island, as many of you know, is the smallest state in the U.S. but is rich in history. The design on the quarter features a ship called the Galilee, representing Rhode Island's maritime history. It's a beautiful coin, but what makes it stand out isn't just the design, it's the details, especially when it comes to the mint mark and a rare error that occurred during production. Now, let's talk about that mint mark. You see, all U.S. coins produced since 1936 bear a mint mark that shows where they were made. Most of you are probably familiar with the D mint mark for Denver or the S for San Francisco. But in 2001, the Rhode Island quarter was also produced in Philadelphia, which used the P mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint has historically been known for producing a large volume of coins, but it wasn't common for quarters to bear the P mint mark. Prior to this, quarters were typically minted with D or S marks. Now, let's talk about what really makes the 2001 P Rhode Island quarter so unique. In 2001, a small number of these quarters were released with a significant minting error. During the production process, some of the quarters were struck with a misalignment or an off-center design. This created an anomaly in the coin's appearance, and collectors quickly began noticing it. These error coins are highly sought after by collectors because they are rare and provide a glimpse into the imperfections that can occur during mass production. It wasn't until years later that these misstruck coins were brought to the attention of coin enthusiasts, and they started popping up on the market, gaining attention for their rarity and distinctive features. What makes these misstruck Rhode Island quarters worth $2.4 million? Well, it's all about scarcity and demand. There are only a few known examples of this error coin, and they've become incredibly valuable because collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. In fact, as the years have passed, the value of these rare quarters has skyrocketed, and the highest known sale for one of these 2001 P Rhode Island error quarters was a jaw-dropping $2.4 million. That's not a typo. $2.4 million. Now, I'm sure many of you are wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare quarters? Well, it's all about paying attention to the details. If you happen to come across a 2001 P Rhode Island quarter, inspect it closely for any signs of misalignment or errors in the design. Look for any off-center impressions, double-struck features, or anything that seems out of the ordinary. If you think you've found one, it's worth getting it authenticated by a professional appraiser or sending it to a reputable grading service. There you have it, the incredible story of the 2001 P Rhode Island quarter, an unlikely candidate for becoming one of the most valuable coins in American history. With a market value of $2.4 million, this coin has captured the attention of collectors worldwide. As always, I encourage you to dig through your coin collections, check your pockets, and keep an eye out for rare pieces like this. You never know, you might be holding onto a fortune. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into coin collecting, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your fellow collectors. And, as always, drop a comment below if you've ever come across any rare coins in your collection, or if you have questions about coin collecting. We're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of numismatics. If you're a collector, an investor, or simply someone who appreciates the history behind our currency, you're in for a treat. We're talking about the legendary 1965 no-mint Mark Washington $quarter coin, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike, and one that could be worth a small fortune today. Now, before we get started, let me remind you that if you've got any old coins laying around in your collection or even in a drawer, you'll want to pay attention to what we discuss today. Some of these coins can be worth significantly more than face value, and in some cases, a lot more. So, let's take a journey through history and explore why the 1965 Washington quarter could be worth as much as $2.50 million. To understand why this specific coin is so valuable, it's important to understand the context in which it was created. The year 1965 marked a major change in U.S. coinage. Prior to this year, U.S. quarters were made with 90% silver, giving them a much higher intrinsic value than they had as pure copper-nickel alloys. In 1965, due to the rising cost of silver and concerns over the availability of precious metals, the U.S. Mint made a historic decision. The Mint stopped producing coins with a high percentage of silver, opting instead to use a copper-nickel blend. This decision was a response to the silver crisis, as it became apparent that silver was no longer affordable for coin production. But there's one more piece to the puzzle: the mint marks. In the years prior to 1965, each coin was stamped with a mint mark, denoting which facility it was produced at. Coins would either have a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or the lack of a mint mark, indicating they were produced in Philadelphia. However, in 1965, something unusual happened. The U.S. Mint accidentally left out the mint mark on some of the quarters produced in Philadelphia. This small error would later become one of the most sought-after and valuable coin mistakes in history. So, why is the 1965 no mint mark quarter so special? It's the combination of rarity and error. The U.S. Mint typically put mint marks on coins to show where they were produced, but for the 1965 quarters, this oversight led to a very limited number of these coins being minted without any mint marks. By 1965, coin collectors had come to expect the mint mark to be present on the coins, and the sudden absence was immediately noticed. However, this was no ordinary mistake. It was a mistake that many did not know about at the time, and it wasn't until years later that the true significance of the coin would be realized. Many of these coins were circulated, melted down, or simply forgotten. Over time, the remaining examples became rarer and rarer. But the ones that survived, especially those in good or even excellent condition, started to command attention. That attention quickly turned into a frenzy among collectors and investors, and soon, the 1965 no mint Mark Washington quarter became a highly coveted coin. Now, let's talk numbers. How much could a 1965 no mint Mark Washington quarter actually be worth today? While most people are familiar with quarters as being worth just 25 cents, the 1965 no mint Mark quarter is far from ordinary. The current market value of one of these rare coins can reach astronomical heights, with some fetching as much as $2.5 million in auctions. Yes, you heard that right, $2.5 million. But of course, not every 1965 no mint Mark quarter will reach this value. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. Coins in pristine, mint condition, with little to no wear or damage, will command a premium. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Coins with a grade of MS67 or better have been known to fetch well over $1 million at auction, while those in lower grades can still sell for thousands of dollars. First, you should carefully examine the coin for the absence of the mint mark. A typical Washington quarter from 1965 would have a mint mark either above the date or near the eagle on the reverse side. If there's no mint mark present, then you're looking at the right coin. Next, check the coin's condition. The closer it is to a perfect, uncirculated state, the more valuable it will be. Coins that have been well preserved, with sharp details and no signs of wear, are the ones that are most likely to reach those high market values. You should also check for any unique features that could further increase the value, like special die errors or other unusual characteristics. For example, some 1965 quarters have been found with double dies, which can make them even more valuable. If you think you might have a 1965 no-mint mark quarter and you're curious about its value, it's a good idea to get it appraised by a professional numismatist. They can help determine its grade, authenticity, and potential value in the current market. There are plenty of places where you can buy and sell rare coins, such as online auction houses, coin dealers, or specialized numismatic shops. Some of the major auction houses even have entire sections dedicated to rare and valuable coins, and these rare quarters are often featured in high-profile auctions. Just make sure you're working with a trusted and reputable seller, as rare coins are often the subject of scams and counterfeiting. To wrap things up, the 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter is more than just a piece of currency. It's a historical artifact, a collector's dream, and for some, a potential million-dollar find. While most quarters from 1965 are worth just 25 cents, the few that were minted without a mint mark are now worth a fortune, with the right one potentially selling for up to $2.50 million. So, if you happen to stumble upon one of these coins in your collection or in your spare change, be sure to check it carefully. You may be holding on to a small fortune. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this look into the 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter as fascinating as I did. Remember to always do your research when dealing with rare coins, and who knows? We're diving into something that might just be hiding in your pocket change. We're talking about the 2003 Mint mark Maine quarter, a coin that has caught the attention of collectors and investors alike, and it's not just because of its historical significance. If you're a coin collector or just curious about what's out there in the world of rare coins, this is one you don't want to miss. By the end of this video, you'll understand why a 2003 Maine quarter could be worth a whopping $2.70 million. Now, let's take a step back. The United States Mint issued a series of state quarters between 1999 and 2008, each one celebrating a different state. The Maine State Quarter, released in 2003, was part of that program. The design of the Maine Quarter features a beautiful image of a lighthouse, a pine tree, and the words, Dirigo, which means I lead in Latin, referencing Maine's motto. This quarter was minted in both Denver and Philadelphia, and you've probably come across a few if you spent any time collecting or dealing with coins. But there's something truly special about the 2003 Mint mark Maine quarter, and that's where the story really begins. You see, most quarters from the early 2000s are pretty standard in terms of value, typically worth only a quarter unless they are in pristine, uncirculated condition. However, a very limited number of these coins were mistakenly minted with a special error that has propelled their value to incredible heights. It's important to understand that coin errors are part of what makes certain coins valuable. These errors can range from something as simple as a double strike to more complex issues like misaligned designs or improperly filled dies. In the case of the 2003 Maine quarter, the error involved a highly unusual die crack that appeared on some of the coins, giving them a unique look that set them apart from all the others. But this wasn't just any minor defect. The die crack was so significant that it could be seen clearly by anyone looking closely at the coin. This is the type of error that could make a regular quarter go from being worth just 25 cents to a jaw-dropping sum. Now, you're probably wondering, why is this coin worth so much? Well, rarity is the first key factor. Only a few of these error coins were ever minted, and over time, many of them have been lost or damaged. This makes them incredibly rare, and in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. The second factor is the demand among collectors. As time passes, coin collectors become more focused on finding pieces with unique characteristics. A coin like the 2003 Maine quarter, which has a visible and unique error, immediately becomes a prized item for those who specialize in collecting rare and error coins. There's also the element of historical importance. After all, these coins were minted during a time when the U.S. Mint was producing an entire state series, which has grown to become an iconic part of American numismatic history. And third, let's talk about condition. The few error coins that have surfaced have been in near perfect or uncirculated condition, which only adds to their value. If you happen to find one in good condition, especially with that die crack or other distinguishing features, you're looking at an extremely valuable coin. So, what's the current market value? As of today, some of these rare 2003 Maine quarters with significant die cracks have been sold at auctions for up to $2.7 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter, worth just 25 cents when it was first minted, could now fetch millions of dollars in the right conditions. This astronomical value is not only due to the rarity of the error, but also because of the bidding wars that happen among serious collectors. If you're lucky enough to have one of these coins, or if you come across one in your change, you could potentially cash in big.so. How do you know if you've got a rare 2003 Maine quarter? First, you'll want to check the coin for any visible die cracks, especially around the design features like the lighthouse and the pine tree. The die crack should be prominent and visible to the naked eye, though you might need a magnifying glass to confirm its authenticity. If you do find one of these error coins, be sure to handle it carefully and keep it in good condition. Any additional damage could affect its value. You might want to get it appraised by a professional coin dealer or send it off for grading to ensure you get the best price if you decide to sell. So, there you have it, folks. The 2003 Mint Mark Maine quarter isn't just another coin. It's a rare piece of American numismatic history that could be worth up to $2.7 million. If you've got a collection of quarters, or if you happen to spot one of these in your change, take a closer look. You might just have a small fortune sitting in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and make sure to hit that like button if you found this information valuable. Don't forget to subscribe for more coin-related tips and updates on rare finds. If you're a coin enthusiast or a collector, you're going to love what we're discussing today. We're going to take a look at a specific coin that could very well be sitting in your collection, your pocket, or even your spare change jar, and it has a market value that might surprise you. That's right. Today we're talking about the 2001 Mint Mark Kentucky $quarter coin. In 2001, the United States Mint released a series of state quarters, one for each state, as part of their 50-state quarters program. This program aimed to honor each state by featuring a unique design representing the state's history, culture, and symbols. The Kentucky quarter, in particular, is one that collectors have shown an increasing interest in over the years. The design of the Kentucky quarter features a stunning image of a thoroughbred horse in front of a mountainous backdrop with the words, "My Old Kentucky Home," inscribed at the top. The design was inspired by the state's rich history of horse racing and its connection to the song, "My Old Kentucky Home," by Stephen Foster, which has become synonymous with the state. Now, let's talk about the 2001 Mint Mark Kentucky quarter specifically. Most of these quarters are worth only face value, just 25 cents. However, there is a very specific condition in which the value of these quarters can skyrocket into the millions. We're talking about one particular Kentucky quarter that was released from the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a P. Mint mark. The truth is, some of these quarters, though still relatively rare, have been valued at an astonishing amount. Now, if you're wondering how this happened, let me explain. So, what exactly makes this coin so valuable? Well, the 2001 Kentucky quarter has become one of the most sought-after coins in the market, thanks to a variety of factors. First, there were some initial misprints that led to a handful of coins being released with errors. These errors include coins with double die obverse, or even quarters that were struck on incorrect planchets, which made them significantly rarer than their counterparts. Additionally, the 2001 Kentucky quarter, in pristine condition and with the right combination of rarity and error, is commanding a market value that's almost too good to believe. As of recent auctions, the value of one of these coins has reached an incredible $2.8 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $2.8 million for a single quarter. The reason behind the dramatic rise in value is simple: rarity and demand. Many of these rare Kentucky quarters were misstruck, leading to flaws that make them stand out from the rest. Over time, collectors have caught on to the scarcity of these coins, and as more collectors seek to add them to their collections, the value continues to increase. The key here is condition. If you happen to have one of these quarters, and it's in mint or near mint condition, that could be your ticket to a small fortune. The value increases exponentially for those coins that have been carefully preserved and remain in the best possible shape, free from scratches, nicks, and other forms of wear. Now, before you rush to your coin jars or your change collection, let me explain how you can identify if you have one of these rare and valuable 2001 Kentucky quarters. First, check for the P mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. This mark indicates that the coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. Next, check for any noticeable errors, such as double die impressions, or anything out of the ordinary in the design or strike of the coin. If you find a coin that appears to have one of these errors, get it checked by a professional. A certified numismatist or a coin expert can confirm whether your coin is one of the rare specimens worth millions. In conclusion, while most 2001 Kentucky quarters are worth just 25 cents, there are a select few that could be worth millions. The rarity, the potential for errors, and the increasing demand for such coins make them an intriguing part of the world of coin collecting. If you happen to find a 2001 Kentucky quarter that's in excellent condition or has a unique error, you might just have a hint. We're going to talk about something that might just blow your mind, especially if you're a coin collector or a history buff. It's about a special coin that many of us may have seen or even owned at one point: the 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter. But here's the twist: this isn't just any regular quarter. We're talking about the no mint mark version of this coin, and its current market value is absolutely astonishing, up to $1.60 million. Understanding the 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter. Now, you might be asking, what makes the 1776 to 1976 quarter so special? Well, this coin was issued as part of the United States Bicentennial celebrations in 1976. It was a way to mark 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. The coin features a special reverse design with a colonial drummer boy, symbolizing the revolutionary spirit that led to the birth of our nation. But here's where it gets interesting. While most of us are familiar with the standard Washington quarter, not all of these 1976 coins are created equal. There are versions with mint marks, and then there's the no mint mark variety. This no mint mark version is key, and it's rare in a way that you might not expect. We talk about mint marks. We're referring to the small letter or symbol on the coin that tells us where it was minted. The Philadelphia Mint typically uses no mint mark, and most coins produced by them in 1976 would fall into this category. However, here's the kicker: only a few select no mint mark 1776 to 1976 quarters have been found in circulation, and these are the ones that collectors are going absolutely crazy for. So what makes these no mint mark coins so valuable? Let's dive into that. Why normally, the mint mark is located on the reverse side of the coin, just beneath the eagle's talon. However, during the 1976 production, There were some coins released by the Philadelphia Mint that did not feature this mint mark at all. Though these coins were originally thought to be mistakes, they're actually some of the most coveted by coin collectors today. As with any rare item, the key to its value lies in scarcity. When a mistake occurs, especially one that makes a coin stand out from the rest, it can skyrocket in value. With the 1776 to 1976 no mint mark quarters, the scarcity of these coins has created an incredible demand. They were produced in far fewer numbers compared to their marked counterparts, and over time, their value has only increased. The value today up to $1.60 million. Here's where things get even more exciting. Coins like this one, specifically the 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter without a mint mark, can sell for an astonishing amount of money today. Now, you may be wondering, how much are we talking about? Well, these rare quarters have been known to fetch anywhere from a few $100s to a few $1,000s depending on their condition. But in certain cases, the value can soar much higher. In fact, the highest recorded sale for a 1776 to 1976 no mint mark Washington quarter reached a jaw-dropping $1.60 million. That's right, $1.6 million. This price reflects not just its rarity, but also the growing interest among collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for a piece of history. As time goes on, the price may even climb higher. If you happen to have one of these quarters, or you come across one in your coin collection, it's definitely worth getting it appraised. You could be sitting on a small fortune. If you're wondering how to tell if you have one of these rare quarters, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, check the reverse side of the coin. If you don't see a mint mark under the eagle's talon, you might just have a valuable find on your hands. Next, condition matters. Coins that are in better condition, especially those with little to no wear and tear, will be worth significantly more. The more pristine the coin, the higher its potential value. To wrap it up, the 1776 to 1976 no mint mark Washington quarter is one of those rare, hidden treasures that many coin collectors dream of finding. With its deep historical significance and rare production, it's become one of the most sought-after coins in the world today. If you happen to own one of these coins, or if you find one in circulation, you could be sitting on a true piece of American history that could be worth a fortune. From a few $100s to $1.6 million, the value of these coins continues to rise as more collectors catch on to their rarity. As always, make sure to do your research. Keep an eye out for these valuable coins, and never underestimate the potential hidden in your collection. We're diving into something that might have sat quietly in your pocket or your coin jar. The 2016 P Mint Mark Franklin D. Roosevelt $quarter coin. Yes, you heard that right. A simple coin that could potentially be worth over $1.70 million. Now, most people wouldn't think twice about these quarters. After all, they've been circulating for years, and with over 230 million minted in 2016 alone, they don't exactly stand out. But what if I told you that some of these very common coins are fetching sky-high prices at auction? Let's explore why. To understand the significance of this quarter, let's first talk about the mint mark. The 2016 P Mint Mark stands for Philadelphia. Usually, we're used to seeing a D for Denver or no mint mark at all for coins minted in other years. But this year, the U.S. Mint made a key decision to put a P on the quarters for the first time in history. That's right. This was a first in American numismatic history. At first glance, the 2016 P Roosevelt quarter might seem like just another piece of pocket change. After all, it's made of the same standard clad metal as most other quarters. But this year was special, and not just because of the mint mark. The unique thing about these coins is that some of them are being discovered in mint condition, what we call uncirculated or gem condition. This means that the coin looks as if it just came off the minting press, without a single scratch or sign of wear and tear. And here's where things get interesting. There are rare examples where these coins are in such pristine condition, they're worth far more than you could ever imagine. In fact, some 2016 Roosevelt quarters have recently sold for over $1.7 million. So what makes these specific coins so valuable? It's all about rarity and condition. When fewer coins are produced in certain years, they become more desirable to collectors. But what's even more crucial is how well preserved those coins are. If you have a 2016 quarter that's been protected from circulation, and it has no signs of wear or damage, it could be worth a fortune. How can you identify one of these rare gems? You'll need to be extra careful. First, check the mint mark. The P should be clearly visible on the reverse side of the coin, just under the eagle. Then, look closely at the coin's surface. Is it free from scratches, dings, or discoloration? If so, you might be holding on to something that could make you a very happy coin collector. But let's take it a step further. It's not just any 2016 Roosevelt quarter that will sell for millions. Coin dealers and collectors are looking for specific examples of these coins that stand out in terms of flawless condition, often graded by professionals from a recognized grading service. For example, a coin graded at the highest level, known as MS-70, is the pinnacle of perfection, and it's these kinds of coins that are most sought after by collectors. You might be wondering, how do I even know if my 2016 quarter is one of these rare finds? The best way is to have it graded by a professional. Companies like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can evaluate your coin and assign it a grade. A coin graded at MS-70, for instance, is considered perfect and could fetch a hefty price. But remember, these coins are incredibly rare. How likely am I to find a 2016 quarter worth $1 million? The reality is, it's very unlikely. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't check your change. Coins like these don't grow on trees, but if you happen to find one in pristine condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. The historical context behind the 2016 Roosevelt quarter. This coin was released to commemorate Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who served from 1933 until his death in 1945. Roosevelt was a pivotal figure in American history, leading the country through the Great Depression and World War II. The quarter's design, featuring a portrait of Roosevelt, has remained largely unchanged since it was first introduced in 1946. But the 2016 coin, with its historical significance and minting milestone, adds a layer of collectability that makes it even more interesting to collectors. So, if you happen to have one of these quarters from 2016 in perfect condition, you could potentially be sitting on something incredibly valuable. While it's not every day that you'll come across a quarter worth millions, it's worth taking a close look at your change, especially when it comes to coins like the 2016 Roosevelt quarter. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and this story is a perfect reminder of how a simple coin can hold extraordinary value. Who knows? Your next pocket change could be the key to unlocking a hidden treasure. Thank you for joining me today and exploring the fascinating world of rare coins. Stay tuned for more tips and stories that could change the way you look at your everyday pocket change. We're going to dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting, specifically focusing on a coin that has become the subject of intense interest among collectors and investors alike. The 2006 mint mark South Dakota $quarter coin. At first glance, this quarter might look like just another coin you've seen in your pocket, but there's more to it than meets the eye. The South Dakota quarter, part of the 50-state quarters program, is an important piece of U.S. currency. But some versions of this coin have been known to fetch astronomical prices in the marketplace. Let's take a closer look at the value of this particular coin and why it's worth $1.9 million today. The 2006 South Dakota quarter is part of the State Quarter series, which was introduced in 1999 to celebrate each state's history and heritage. South Dakota's quarter, issued in 2006, features an image of Mount Rushmore, a national monument famous for its massive, sculpted heads of 4 U.S. presidents: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. The 2006 South Dakota quarter has the standard design of a typical quarter, but holds something unique for collectors. While the coin is common in circulation, there is a specific error variety that has become highly sought after in the coin collecting world. This error, known as the 2006 South Dakota quarter missing silver, has set a new record for rarity and value. What makes this coin so valuable? Well, the 2006 Mint Mark South Dakota quarter we're talking about is a special error coin. In most coins, there's an inscription of the word E pluribus unum, which is Latin for out of many, one. However, some of these quarters, due to a minting mistake, were issued without the inscription. This flaw makes these error coins extremely rare. Collectors call them variety coins or error coins, and these pieces are valuable because they were never supposed to exist in the first place. Imagine walking into a store with a 25-cent coin and finding out years later that it's worth $1.9 million. That's the kind of discovery that makes coin collecting so thrilling. How does a coin like this, which was initially worth just 25 cents, end up being worth so much? Well, the value of coins, especially rare and error-prone ones, often depends on several factors: rarity, demand, and condition. The 2006 South Dakota quarter missing silver coin is incredibly rare, with only a handful known to exist. Because of its scarcity, collectors have been willing to pay top dollar to get their hands on one of these coins. In fact, the current market value of one of these rare coins has skyrocketed to $1.9 million. That's right, $1.9 million for a single quarter. And, while this may sound too good to be true, the coin's error and the condition it's in contribute to its extreme worth. The better the condition of the coin, the more valuable it becomes. For those of us who are passionate about coin collecting, this discovery is a reminder of how thrilling the hobby can be. A coin that looks so ordinary on the surface can hold incredible value to the right collector, especially when there's a unique story behind it. If you happen to have a 2006 South Dakota quarter in your collection, or if you stumble upon one while sifting through your change, be sure to examine it closely. This rare error coin could be the ticket to a life-changing windfall. But remember, the value is determined by condition, so make sure it's well-preserved. Whether you're an experienced collector or just getting started, the world of coin collecting is filled with surprises. The 2006 Mint Mark South Dakota quarter is one of those rare treasures that might be worth far more than you expect. Thank you for joining me today. Keep an eye on your pocket change, because you never know when you might find something that could be worth millions. I want to take you on an exciting journey into the world of coin collecting, focusing on a coin that may be hiding in your pocket right now: the 1999 Mint Mark Pennsylvania $quarter coin. What's truly remarkable about this coin is its rarity and value. While most quarters from the 1999 series are still circulating, some of these coins can fetch an incredible price, reaching up to $2 million. Let me explain why this particular coin is so special. In 1999, the United States Mint released a series of state quarters, each one representing a different state in the Union. These were the first quarters to honor individual states, and they quickly became a collector's dream. But what makes the 1999 Pennsylvania quarter unique, especially the one with a P Mint mark, stands out for a reason you might not expect. First, let's take a quick look at what makes a coin valuable. Usually, value in coins comes down to a few key factors: rarity, demand, and condition. In the case of the 1999 Pennsylvania quarter, we're talking about a coin with a rare production error, making it incredibly sought after among collectors. Normally, the U.S. Mint produces coins with very little room for error. However, during the production of the 1999 Pennsylvania quarters, a mistake was made. Some of the coins struck during this year's release were improperly minted. What happened is that a small, yet crucial, detail on the coin's design was slightly off, which led to a minting error. This error involved the P Mint mark, which stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where the coin was made. Instead of the usual clear, sharp strike, some of the coins featured the mint mark with a much weaker impression. As a result, these coins are incredibly rare, with only a few still in circulation today. But why are these errors so important to collectors? Well, rarity equals value. In the case of the 1999 Pennsylvania quarter, it's believed that only a handful of these error coins are left in the public's hands. Over time, that rarity only increases their worth. And as demand for these rare coins grows among collectors and investors alike, prices soar. Now, you might be thinking, how do I know if I have one of these rare quarters in my possession? The key feature to watch for is the mint mark. The P on the Pennsylvania quarter is the one we're concerned about. Make sure to examine it closely. If the mark appears faded or blurry, it could be one of the rare error coins that collectors are after. Additionally, if the quarter appears to have a double strike, it could be another clue that you've found something special. So, why is this coin valued at up to $2 million? It all comes down to its rarity, condition, and the demand for these unique error coins. As more collectors become aware of this coin and its value, the price continues to climb. While you're unlikely to find one of these error coins on the streets, if you do, you could be looking at an incredibly valuable piece of American history. However, not every 1999 Pennsylvania quarter is worth that much. The typical value for a standard coin is around 25 cents. But if you happen to find one of these rare error coins, you're looking at a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that could put you in possession of a coin worth a small fortune. It's important to note that, like with any collectible, condition is everything. Coins in better condition, especially those that are graded as being in mint condition, are worth significantly more than those in poor shape. So, if you believe you have found a rare 1999 Pennsylvania quarter, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded and appraised by an expert before making any decisions. In conclusion, the 1999 Mint mark Pennsylvania $quarter coin is more than just a piece of currency. It's a potential goldmine waiting to be discovered. If you happen to find one of these rare error coins, you might just be holding on to a treasure worth millions of dollars. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most valuable things are the ones you least expect to find. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope this inspires you to take a closer look at the coins in your collection or your pocket. Who knows? The next quarter you come across might just be your ticket to a small fortune.